Welcome back to BL6 webinar series. So during this session, I am going to discuss with you another chapter there in your syllabus, which is integrated accounting, right? What is the meaning of integrated? Integrated means 3, 4 or more than 2 elements you combine together and create one integrated, which means let us say you have one system, two system, you combine those two into one integrated. So which means a collection of few elements, which is called integrated accounting, right? So there in this chapter we will discuss few control accounts, right? Material control account, how do you prepare wages control account, and how do you prepare WIP control account. All this control account concept we are going to discuss, and finally we will prepare some P&L also based on the given information, right? Fine. You will understand what are the inside of this in detail when we go into the questions. Straight away we will move into the questions, because there are few concepts here. Basically keep this in your mind, some control accounts we are going to discuss in this integrated accounting, right? Because control account is a summary account of others individual ledger accounts, right? Fine. First one, material control account. Thereafter we will discuss WIP control account. Thereafter we will discuss finished good control account. Thereafter wages control account. All these control accounts we will discuss during this chapter, right? Fine. We will start with the material control account, right? Fine. There is a question. Bossy company manufactures a single product. They manufacture single product and has following transaction for material during a particular period. So below transaction they have given for material during a particular period, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finally, they are asking record the transaction in material control account for the period, showing clearly how each transaction is treated. They are asking you to prepare material control account. Material control account, right? How do we prepare it? Based on the given information. Balamu. Raw material of 500 were purchased on credit from suppliers, Timmed company. You purchase raw material from suppliers. When you purchase raw material from suppliers, your payable will be debit, creditor. Accounts payable credit, debit to what? Material control account. Payable. How much? 500,000. $500,000, right? Raw material 500,000 you paid. Raw material costing 10,000 rupees, 10,000 were returned to suppliers. You return raw material to supplier. The raw material control account is debit path. You return, then purchase material debit payable credit when you return material adu right? Return adu material control accounting. Return material adu credit return. How much? 10,000. 10,000. Third one, the total store requisition for direct material for period were 400,000. Now integrated accounting we are talking about, no? Here. දැන් මම පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් කරන්නම් මේක. හොඳට අහගන්න. If you look at your process, counting process, right? What you will do first? You will purchase raw material. Raw material, right? Once you purchase raw material, that will add to inventory. Inventory. Right? Inventory. raw material will be then issued. Sorry, you will issue to production, issue. If you are a manufacturing organization, you will issue to production. So then, issue කරාට පස්සේ කොහෙද ඒව රෙකෝඩ් වෙන්නේ? මේ inventory account එකේ. Inventory control account record කරන්නේ. issue වෙනකොට issue කරන්නේ production එකට. ඒ කියන්නේ work in progress. WIP එකක් වෙනවා නේ. work in progress. WIP control account. WIP control account. Right? WIP control account. issue කරාට පස්සේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? issue කරපුවා FG වෙනවා. Finish good. Finish good. Raw material issue කරා finish good වුණා. Finish good වුණාම ඒක රෙකෝඩ් කරන්න කොහෙද? FG control account. Finish good control account. Right? We record those where finish good control account. මෙන්න control accounts තුන. Material control account, inventory. අපි මෙතන දාමු material control account කියලා. Material control account. Material control account. WIP control account. NFG control account. මෙන්න integrated. Link නේ අන්න එක තමයි integrated කියලා කියන්නේ. Raw material link to WIP, WIP link to FG. Integrated accounting. තනි මේක කරන්න බෑ. process එකක් තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් total store requisition store එකෙන් request කරන්නේ. store එකෙන් request කරන්නේ. Right? For direct material for the period 400,000. ඔයාගෙන් ඉල්ලනවා. එතකොට මොකද කරන්නේ? issue කරනවා. එහෙනම් raw material control account එකේ issue කරනවා WIP එකට. මේකෙන් මේකට transfer කරනවා. Integrated accounting. From material you transfer balance to WIP account. එහෙනම් මෙතන credit වෙනවා WIP 400,000. Here credit debit WIP 400,000, credit RM 400,000. දැක්කද link එක මේ දෙක අතර තියෙන integrated. Right? So WIP account debit, raw material account credit. Total issue of indirect raw material during the period. Indirect. Now you will purchase raw material, right? Purchases. It can be raw material or it can be consumable. Let's say you manufacture garment, this shirt, raw material will be what? Fabric, button, elastic, all these things. When you purchase raw material, you will record their material purchase account. When you issue that to production, that will be recorded in WIP. Then it will come to finished good. But consumables, for you to manufacture this shirt, you required spare part for machines, right? Hardware items, needles, those are what? Consumables. Consumables also you will record in material control account. This is also in material control account. But when you issue, right, this will be issued. Sorry. Yeah. When you issue this, you will not record in WIP, but you will record in where? Overhead, P&L. This will not be a part of WIP, but part of what? P&L directly. So consumable issuance will charge to production overhead, right? Factory consumable. Here, credit inventory, credit material consumable, same account. How much? 15,000. and debit overhead 15,000. Factory consumables P&L 15,000. Understand this, right? Fifth one, total unused direct material was returned to stores from production. How much? 5,000. So out of this 400,000, they have returned back to warehouse. They can make only entry. Credit WIP account, debit material account, return 5,000. 5,000. Return 5,000 to production from store from production, right? Then upping on our record the transaction in the material control account for the period, showing clearly how each transaction is treated. Each transaction එක treat කරන්න කොහොමද අපි මෙතන කතා කරා. Then closing balance. Take the closing balance. Which side is higher? මේ පැත්ත value වෙනකොට වැඩි වගේ, right? Fine. Take 500,000 plus 5,000. 505. 505 minus 10,000 minus 400,000 minus 15,000. 80,000. So this is the balance of what? Material control account. Balance carried down. Right? Fine. So understand this concept. Make it integrated accounting. Right? Fine. Let me erase this start of accounts to get some space. Right. So here we have material control account 1, WIP control accounts second one, third one FG control account. In this process, right, integrated process, these are relating to purchases, right? And in addition to this, for you to process this, you require wages. So then we have wages control account also in addition to this list. Keep that also in your mind. We will discuss that later on. Fine. Done. Next one, material control account. There is a question. These are the questions that examiner can test. The company issue rupees 100,000 of material from stores on issue karanawa, 25% of which did not relate into production. 100,000 you have issued, 75 for production, 25 for not relating to production, which means consumable. 25,000 consumables, 75,000 relating to production. Then අපෙන් අහන්නේ record this transaction, debit credit. එහෙනම් make a relating to production WIP debit. This is overhead P&L debit. Altogether 100,000 credit to a material control account. Material control account credit 100,000, debit WIP 75,000, debit 25,000 overhead, right? This answer is there. First one wrong. You don't have factory consumable overhead account is not there. Second one also no overhead. Third one, debit work in progress correct. Credit inventory control account 100,000 correct, and debit factory consumable factory overhead 25,000 correct. So the correct answer is what? Answer C. Correct answer is C. WIP control account. The company manufacture single product and the following transaction for WIP during the particular period. අපෙන් අහන WIP control account එක දැන්. මම මේ ටික එහෙම තියාගන්නම් because important, right? And prepare WIP control account. WIP control account, right? The total store requirement for direct material for the period was 400,000. Total store requisition, right? එහෙනම් අපි store එකෙන් ගෙනල්ලා තියෙන material එක මේ 400,000. අපි ගෙනාපු එකනේ 400,000. balance WIP එකේ තියෙනවා 400,000. මේ අපි ගෙනාපු එක. මේ debit WIP. WIP එක debit කරපු එක. credit to material control account. 5,000 unused material returned from the stores to production. Sorry, from to stores production මේ 5,000. 5,000 return කරා. මෙතන ඒක නෑ. හැබැයි අපි දැම්ම අපේ material control account එකේ. material control account debit වුණා WIP එකෙන් credit වෙනවා. මොකද මෙතෙන්ට ආපෙකින් තමයි අයින් කරන්නේ. material return 5,000. right WIP control account එකේ ඔය entries දෙක තමයි material control account එකේ අනිත් පැත්තේ තියෙන්නේ. now at the start of the period there was a balance. At the start of the period there was a balance brought down on account R, right? Opening balance, there was an opening balance that I have didn't include. I have not include opening balance. Opening balance of how much? 50,000. WIP එකෙන් ආව 400,000. sorry, material control account එකේ. material control account 400,000. okay, during the period 390,000 was completed and transferred to finished good. Now look at from WIP account to finished good transfer කරලා තියෙනවා 390,000. එහෙනම් මෙතන credit වෙනවා, right? credit FG debit FG 390,000. ඒකනේ integrated account කියන්නේ මේකයි අතර link එක. WIP එකෙන් transfer කරා FG වලට. debit FG account, credit material control account, right? 390,000. sorry, yeah, 390,000. FG account එකට transfer කරා. ඒකේ credit entry තමයි මෙතන වදින්නේ. FG control account එකේ. simple to understand. Record the transaction in WIP control account for the period showing clearly how transaction should be treated. Done. ඒක අපි දැම්මා. දැන් ගන්න balance එක. right? FG එකේ balance එක. 450,000 390,000 minus 5,000. 55,000. Carried down value. Brought forward 55,000. Right? 55,000. That's the correct answer. 55,000. That is WIP control account. අපි එහෙනම් material control account එක කතා කරා, WIP control account එක කතා කරා, දෙක අතර link එක අඳුරගත්තා. WIP control account එක කතා කරා, FG account control එක කතා කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. Next topic is what? FG control account. Before that we have WIP control account question. Look at this. Company transferred 150 of WIP to finished good. 150,000 you transfer to finished good. Requirement. Identify how transaction would be recorded in books. Debit WIP progress වැරදි, WIP එක credit වෙන්න ඕනි. Finished good control account debit 150, credit WIP in progress, work in progress. That's the correct answer. So correct answer is what? B. මේ වගේව අහන්න පුළුවන්. Finished good control account. ඒකෙත් ගාණක්ම තමයි තියෙන්නේ. කියවන්න බලන්න ගාණ. මේකෙම අනිත් පැත්ත. FG control account. FG control account, right? Fine. Bossy company manufactures a single product and has following transaction for finished good during the particular period. Point from above example, previous question. During the period, 390 was completed and transferred to finished good. Here. During the period, debit to FG account. 390. FG account, sorry, from VIP. This is coming from VIP. 390. 390,000. Debit එක තමයි මේ ගත්තේ. Right? And at the start of the period, the company had finished goods stock of 435,000. Opening balance 435,000. 435,000. During the period, the Bossy company has sold 495,000 cost of sales. මෙතනින් එහාට යන්න කොහෙටද? FG විකුණනකොට this will be transferred to where? Cost of sales. Cost of sales. එහෙනම් raw material issue කරනවා finished good හදනවා cost of sale transfer කරන විකුණද්දි. Right? FG sale කරද්දි sale ඒ වෙලාවේ වදිනවා කොහෙටද? Cost of sales වලට. Right? This is fourth one. Cost of sales. That is there in the P&L. Material control account, WIP control account, FG control account, and finally cost of sales. එහෙනම් finished good විකුණද්දි cost of sales වලට යනවා කොච්චරද? 495,000 here. During the period, the sales made of finished good to value of 495,000. 495,000. Take the balance. Sorry, 435,000 plus 390,000, 825,000, 825,000 minus 495,000, 330,000 balance carried down, right? 330,000 done. So this is the process, right? තේරුම් ගන්න flow එක raw material to issue to finished good to sale. Chart of account එකේ යන විදිය entries අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා. right? කොහෙද debit වෙන්නේ කොහෙද credit වෙන්නේ කියලා. මෙතනත් ඒක පැහැදිලිව පෙන්ලා තියෙනවා. So finished good control account also we have done. Integrated කියන්නේ මේ හතර එකට වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Material control account, WIP control to finished good to cost of sales. එහම තමයි entries ටික යන්නේ. Right? Fine. So let me come to wages control account. After finished good, wages control account. Sorry, finished good. There's a question, small question. You can easily answer this question. The company sold 185,000 worth of finished good on credit basis. Identify how transaction would recorded in accounts, right? Finished good දාලා තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් මොකද්ද කරන්න අපි? Trade receivable 150,000 debit, finished good credit. That's the correct answer. Anyway, finished good should be out of the credit should be credit to the account. It can't be debit to finished good account, right? The correct answer is A. Okay, wages control account. Read this question again. Salary, which means when you run your day-to-day business, you have to pay for employees. So then, how do you record salary from management account point of view, right? The following details were extracted from weekly payroll. Weekly payroll එකෙන් observe කරලා තියෙනවා මේ ටික, right? For 750 employees at factory. The following details were extracted from weekly payroll for 750 employees at factory. Analyze of group gross pay, direct wages, indirect wages there, and total, ordinary time and overtime, basic wages, premium they have given, shift allowance, sick pay, idle time, finally net wages paid to employees they have given, requirement, record payroll details in wages control account for the week. So basically they are asking you to prepare wages control account. Sorry. Wages control account. So remember this thing, you have direct and indirect employee classification. Direct and indirect. One organization, direct employees and indirect employees line. Right? Direct employees means workers who directly involved with the product. Directly involved with the product. Product එකත් directly involved වෙන කට්ටිය. Direct employees. Supporting staff, indirect staff. Let's say garment manufacturing. The employees who stitch this garment or work with sewing machines, we identify direct employees, direct wages, direct workers. The salary paid to them we identify as what? Direct salary. Salary paid to them identify as direct payment, direct salary. And you have administrative staff, supporting staff to support them. Those employees you identify as indirect workers. Right? Wages we will pay for both indirect and direct wages. But the treatment for direct wages or salary paid to direct employees and the accounting treatment for indirect different. What is the difference? This is the difference. Wages, direct, indirect. Direct, indirect. If you pay salary for direct employees, you will record that salary in WIP account, work in progress. Indirect salary you will record where? In overhead. Overhead account. Here OT, right, we'll take one by one. So I will complete this graph with the information, right? Right, done. Now, what are the information they have given? Ordinary time, සාමාන්‍ය කාලයට වැඩ කරපු කාලයට ගෙවන පඩිය 36,000 and overtime basic wages, overtime එකේ basic wages කෑල්ල කීයද? 8,700. ඒ දෙක අපි ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර් කරනවා කොහෙද? WIP එකට. WIP account එකට දානවා මොකද්ද? Ordinary time and OT, right? OT were basic wages, right? How much? 36,000 plus 8,000, 36,000 plus 8,700. 8,700. 36,000 plus 8,700. 44,700. 44,700. Right? Then you have indirect employee salary 22,000 and 5,330. ඒවා යන්නේ කොහෙද? overhead විදිහට. indirect wages. කොහෙද යන්නේ? overhead. How much? 22,000 plus 5,430. 22,000 plus 5,330. 27,430. 430. මේ වෙන overhead. indirect යන්නේ overhead වලට. indirect overhead කියලා කියන්නේ මොනවද? ordinary time, ordinary time wages, both යන්නේ overhead. Then we have a OT premium. OT premium, if it is premium, OT premium, direct, indirect, both to overhead. Premium. ඒ කියන්නේ වැඩිපුර ගෙවන එක. right? Premium 7,065. OT premium. Direct and indirect. To where? Overhead. Overhead. Right? Overhead. Why? OT premium means අපි plan කරවට වඩා වැඩිපුර OT කරලා. Inefficiencies, due to inefficiencies. එන ඒ කියන්නේ කොහෙද? overhead වලට. හොඳම තියාගන්න. OT premium irrespective of direct or indirect, both will go to overhead, not to VIP account. Direct in the VIP account and direct and normal OT එක. සාමාන්‍ය OT එක කියන්නේ අපිට direct way වලට. Then shift allowance. Shift allowance anyway overhead. Shift allowance. Allowance දෙන්නේ all allowance indirect. Overhead. Allowance. How much? 5,295. 5,295. 95. Thereafter you have sick pay. Sick pay. Ledani maadu 1,450. I don't have space, therefore I will take somewhere here. Sick pay. Idle time. Loss. වැඩ කරන්නේ නැති හින්දා ගෙවන්න ඕන එකයි. Idle time means නිකන් ඉන්න මිනිස්සු. හැබැයි you pay for them. Right? 3,200. 3,200 in the overhead. What you need to understand, right here, overhead එකට යන්නේ මේ idle time direct employees ලා idle time එකයි overhead එකට යන්නේ. The reason, they will not contribute to the production. VIP එකට යන production එකට contribute කරන්න ඕනේ. There is no contribution to production. Therefore, you will charge it as overhead. Overhead premium due to inefficiencies. Therefore, it's to overhead. ඇත්තටම VIP එකට බලපාන්නේ නැහැ ඒවා. මිනිසුන්ගේ inefficiency ඉඳ යන්නේ premium එක. Right? එතෙන්. That's the basis. Others are anyway not allowance not related to production, sick pay not related to production. මේ production එකට අදාළ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අදාළ වෙන්නේ basic salary, basic OT එක විතරයි. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. It all other expenses to overhead. Basis is that. Then net pay. How much you are paying? 69,085,000. Cash, credit, wages, control account, debit. Cash 69,825. 825. Right? The balance amount you will charge to where? Balance not charge. Balance should be deductions. Deductions. Right? Deduction control account basically. But the total 44,700 plus 27,430, 7,065, 5295 plus 1,450 plus 3,200, 89,140. Minus 69,825, 19,315. So this will be deduction control account, right? Wages එක balance එක තමයි deduction කරන්නේ. So මෙන්න මේක හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. What is go to direct, what is go to VIP, what is go to overhead, right? මේ දෙක විතරයි VIP account එකට යන්නේ. That's very clear. What is next? දැන් අපි කතා කරා raw material වලින් VIP එකට ආවා, issue කරන VIP එකෙන් finished good වලට ගියා, finished good වලින් cost of sales වලට ගියා. ඒ වගේම salary control accounts එක කොහොමද දාන්නේ කියලා අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා. Next one. Wages control account එක solution. Solution, the logics they have explained here properly. Right, look at this. Solution. The wages control account act as a sort of collecting place for net wages paid and the deduction made from gross pay. The gross pay is then analyzed between direct and indirect. This is gross pay. You analyze between direct and indirect, and you will pay from gross value 89,000, 69,000. Then you will take the deduction. Then gross එකයි payment එකයි අතර වෙනස net pay. මේ තියෙන්නේ gross minus deduction will be paid. එහෙනම් gross කෑල්ල දාන්න මෙන්න gross එක අපි analyze කරා in between VIP and the overhead, which means direct and indirect, right? VIP and මේ දෙක බෙදලා දැම්ම gross එක VIP එකයි overhead එකට අතර gross එකෙන් paid එක අඩු කරපුවම ඉතුරු එක deduction. So this is balancing figure, that's why we identify as what? Deduction. The first step is to determine which wages account are direct and which are indirect. The direct wages will be debit to work in progress account and indirect will be debit to production overhead. See, there are in fact only two items of direct wages in this example. The ordinary time 36 million and the basic overtime wages 8.7 million paid to direct workers. All other payments including overtime premium are indirect wages. D, the net wages are debited to control account and the balance then represent the deduction which have been made for tax, social insurance and so on, right? Whatever, right? Balance will represent the deduction. We don't know the classification of it, right? Then under accounting for under absorption of overhead. දැන් overhead ටික අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තානේ. මෙතන තියෙන overhead ටිකක්. මේ විතරක් නෙවෙයි තව overhead ටිකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකේ under over absorption. Under marginal costing and absorption costing we have discussed. Under absorption costing there can be over absorption and under absorption because you absorb fixed production overhead cost, right? Absorption is applicable for fixed production overhead cost. You absorb fixed production overhead cost based on cost drivers. So based on the cost drivers you absorb. When you absorb fixed production overhead cost based on cost drivers, that is estimate or judgmental figure. Absorption can judgmental figure. But that is not the cost you are going to pay as overhead. Now let's say budgeted fixed production overhead, budgeted figure, selling and administration or whatever, let's say 5 million. You will absorb this using cost driver. Cost driver එක base කරනවා absorb කරනවා. But actual will be different from this absorption. So difference between actual fixed cost and the absorbed fixed cost we identify as over and absorption. මේ තියෙන්නේ good example එකක් බලන්න පොඩක් කියවලා. So then you will understand properly. Under absorption එන්නේ එකෙන් absorb කරපු ගානයි actual ගාන අතර වෙනස. ඒකෙන් අපිට over under absorption කියන figure out කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ඔයා ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න previous webinar series එකේ අපි over absorption under absorption කියන එක in detail discuss කරා. Go and check. Right? Fine. Accounting for under over absorption. Right? Yeah. Marriott motorcycles absorb production overhead at the rate of 500 per operating hour. Always absorb drive එක තමයි operating hours, right? Absorption rate 500 per operating hour. And administration overhead 20% of production cost of sales. The actual data for the month was as follows. Administration overhead, production overhead, operating hours, production cost of sales. Required record these entries that need to be made in overhead in the ledger, right? Production overhead තියෙනවා, administrative overhead තියෙනවා. Production overhead, administrative overhead. Production overhead, admin overhead, then over or under absorption. Over under absorption. Then make a record කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. Actual they have given overhead 32 million and 46.5 million. Production overhead actual 46. Actual we pay කරන්න බෑනේ. Actual cash 46.5 million. You have to pay. Admin cash වලින් pay කරන්න වෙනවා, right? How much? 32 million. 32 million. 32 million. Right? These are actuals. Cash credit, these accounts debit. Now absorption. Admin overhead, how do you absorb? So let's say production overhead you absorb based on operating hours, 500 per operating hours. Absorb 500 operating hours. How many operating hours you have? 90,000. 90,000. 500 into 90,000. 45 million. Right? 45 million. This is credit. Debit to expense. Right? So here absorption cost in this account debit. Right? Production overhead. Production overhead. VIP එක තමයි debit කරන්නේ. VIP එක debit වුණා, මේක credit වුණා. VIP එකට යන්නේ production related overhead. Production overhead VIP. Right? VIP එකට දැම්මා 45 million. Right? Then administrative overhead. Admin overhead එකේ 20% of production cost. Absorb admin. 20% of how much? 180 million. 180 million. 3.6 million. 3.6 million. I'm working with millions. 3.6 million. 3.6 million. Make කොහෙද යන්නේ? Overhead එකට. Overhead debit වෙලා තියෙනවා. Right? P&L basically. Right? P&L එක debit වෙලා absorption admin overhead කියන account එක credit වුණා. මේකට දාන්න අපි. P&L එක debit. Right? මෙතන credit කරා. මේක VIP එකට යන්නේ. මොකද ඇඩ්මින් ඒවා VIP එකට යන්නේ නැහැ. ඇඩ්මින් ඒවා ප්‍රොඩක්ෂන් සම්බන්ධයක් නැහැ. දැන් බලන්න over and absorption 46.5 45. අපි absorb කරන්න බැලුවේ 45 but 46 ගියා. under absorption අඩුවෙන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ 1.5. right 1.5 production overhead credit, this is debit 1.5 production overhead. හරිනේ under absorption එක මෙතෙන්ට ආවා. here sorry 36 million 180 million into 36 million. You absorb 36 million but you decided to absorb 36 million but actually you paid 32, which means for over absorption. This is debit, under absorption credit. 4. Difference of this will charge to where? P&L 2.5 to P&L. This is the impact to P&L, right? Over under absorption accounting. Yeah, that's under absorption treatment for under over absorption. Here, look at this. The purpose of this is to control the cost of goods being recorded in the general ledger and ultimately the statement of profit or loss of the business. Cost of sale control account. Finally here, cost of sale control account. There you will record what? When finished goods are sold, a transfer is made, finished goods control account debit, cost of sales account debit. Then the transferred into statement of P&L so that nothing left in the cost of sale account, right? Fine. So this is the format of under absorption P&L, right? How do you create it? But before we come to that, let me summarize the entire integrated accounting chapter like this. I have did the same but for better visibility at the end, right? So what we have discussed, you have raw material, same thing I am drawing, right? We will issue that to where, then you will process. Here you will process raw material, right? Process raw material, then finished good will be generate and finished good you will sell. Make a process එකනේ, integrated process එක බැලව ගන්නේ මේක. raw material issue කරා, finished good හැදුවා, sale එකට දැම්මා. When raw material purchase, raw accounts debit, raw material control account credit, payables, right? Fine. When we issue raw material, this is number 1. Number 2, credit raw material control account debit to VIP. මෙතන තියෙන VIP account. So here you have raw material control account. Issuance you will record in VIP control account. Here FG control account. Here cost of sale control account. When a control account sticker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third one, when you transfer finished good into finished good account, how do you record? Debit finished good control account, credit VIP. Third one. Fourth one, when you transfer finished good into sale, finished good or sale karana, cost of sales debit, control account, credit, finished good account, right? Finished good transfer to WIP. This entry, when you transfer raw material to WIP, issue, right? This is transfer to FG. FG, transfer to WIP. To WIP. Here sale. Right? Then balagan. So this debit will be set off with credit when you issue totally. RM නැති වෙලා යනවා. WIP එක FG වලට දානකොට debit credit set off වෙලා යනවා. FG sale එකට දානකොට මේ debit entry ට මේ credit entry කැපිලා යනවා. Opening closing ඉතුරු නැහැ, ඒක වෙනම දෙයක්. Right? So here at the end of you have closing balances, opening balances. හැබැයි හැම වෙලේම integrated account වල මතක තියාගන්න මෙතන debit වෙනකොට issue කරනකොට credit වෙනවා. ඒ ගත්තට එකම issue කරොත් net off වෙලා debit නැති වෙලා යනවා. හැබැයි opening closing balance තියෙනවා නම් මෙහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන එකත් මතක තියාගන්න. හැම වෙලේම මේ integrated accounting වල මේකෙන් මේකට යද්දි debit, මේකෙන් මේකට යද්දි debit, මේකෙන් මේකට යද්දි debit, sorry, මේකෙන් මේකට යද්දි RM credit වෙනවා, මේක debit වෙනවා. මෙතෙන් යද්දි මේක credit, මේක debit වෙනවා. FG වලින් මෙතෙන් යද්දි cost of sales debit වෙලා මේක credit වෙනවා. right? මේ entries ටිකම දෙන්න. මෙන්න පළවෙනි entry, දෙවෙනි entry, තුන්වෙනි entry, හතරවෙනි entry. right? fine. so මේක තමයි ඔයා තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. හැමතැනම chart of account එකක් තියෙනවා, control account එකක් විදියට. in addition to that we have discussed what? wages control account and under-over absorption. There's a comprehensive question to be discussed under-over absorption that we will discuss under MCQ discussion. So this is important chapter, but not a lengthy chapter. Therefore, I want to give you some insight about this relationship between each and every account. So once you understand relationships properly, you know how do we pass double entries in between these two accounts, from WIP to RM to WIP, WIP to FG, FG to cost of sales, right? Fine. There's a question, comprehensive question that we will discuss under revision program. Thank you.